and welcome back. Today I'm going to show you how you can create a monthly budget step by step, and then I'm going to give you some strategies on how you can stick to it in order to save money each month. So I'm going to leave a link in the description of this video so you can use the template that I put in there to do your budget. Otherwise, just grab a pen and some paper and let's get started. Before we make our budget, we need to understand why we even have a budget in the first place. And of course, the reason why we have a budget is to save money. So we need to have a goal in mind when we are creating our budget. And our goal is how much money do we want to save for that month. So with that in mind, let's get into creating your budget, and then I'll give you some time to make a goal for that month. Okay, so the first thing you need to be writing down is your monthly income. So this should be quite easy for most people, as usually your monthly income is a fixed amount. However, if you're a casual worker, for example, and your amount can change from time to time, just use your last 2 to 3 paychecks in order to get an estimated amount of how much you'll get paid next time. So once you have your monthly income written down, go on to do your fixed expenses. So your fixed expenses are usually the same every month. So this can be your rent, for example, your subscription services such as Netflix or Disney Plus, your internet or phone bills, or perhaps donations and sponsorships. These are fixed amounts that you're paying every single month the same. Now after this, list your variable expenses. So variable expenses are expenses that will probably change on a monthly basis, so you need to estimate the amount of money you would realistically like to spend on them each month. So these expenses may include transportation or petrol, money for grocery shopping, eating out at restaurants or having takeaway food, as well as your utility bills. So this includes water, gas, and electricity. So these are your variable expenses, as they can change slightly or even dramatically sometimes. So now what you should have written down is your monthly income, your fixed expenses, and your variable expenses. So now what I want you to do is to calculate how much money you have left over after your fixed and variable expenses have been taken away from your monthly income. So pause the video, get that done, and then come back so we can go into the next step. Okay, so once you've done that, if you have some money left over, then you can go on to set aside some money for some wants for the month. Now the amount you set aside will totally depend on you, as you know yourself best and you know what you like to purchase. But I do want to point out, however, that your spending habits will come down to ultimately what you value. So whatever you value, you will be willing to spend your money on. So for example, if you value having great quality electronics, then you may want to spend money on expensive gadgets or devices and maybe even have the latest thing. On the other hand, if you value your appearance, you may want to spend money on certain services like getting your hair cut or your nails done, among other things. So you may want to ask yourself, what do I value, in order to be more mindful of what you're spending your money on. So the last thing you may want to add to your budget is your one-off payments. So these can be small or large payments. So for example, you may have a holiday coming up and you have to pay for that holiday. So that will be a one-off payment. Or you may have to pay for your car insurance or registration that is due. So just keep in mind, you may have to sacrifice your wants for that month in order to pay for more essential or urgent things coming up. Okay, so just like I said at the beginning of this video, I'm now going to help you develop a game plan on how you can reach your monthly budget goal. Shortly, I'm going to give you 3 strategies on how you can make your goal a reality, so make sure you stay tuned, as I don't want you to miss them. What you should have done by now is made your monthly budget and your goal for the month, how much money you want to save. But now you need to make a plan. How will you ensure you save this amount? As they say, you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So you need to have a clear plan on how you're going to succeed in your goal. So as I said, here are 3 strategies to help you do that. The first strategy is to identify and acknowledge your weaknesses. We all have them, don't worry, I'm preaching to myself here. But when we do this, we're able to make a plan in order to prevent them from taking control of our spending. So for example, if you are an impulse buyer, go shopping less. If you're planning to go shopping, have a clear plan about what you want to get. Delete shopping apps from your phone. Prevent yourself from visiting shopping websites in your spare time. On the other hand, if you spend a lot of money on takeaway food or fast food, you can avoid this by having a clear plan about what food you want to buy and make at home each week within the month. You can learn to cook dishes if you haven't yet. Just start simple, quick meals and ease yourself into it. And something that I've learned is that you should ensure you buy food that you enjoy eating. If you buy food that you don't know how to cook or you don't even enjoy eating, then you won't eat it and you'll just be wasting your money in a different way. Try buy food that is both nutritious and delicious. You need both. You don't need to have the perfect diet, you just need to work on improving over time. Now, the next thing you can be doing is adjusting your income and expenses. Now, if you don't like the amount of money that you're saving each month or you're in debt, then you're going to have to either increase your income or decrease your expenses, or do both. So you'll need to think of some strategic and effective ways of you doing this according to your situation. So some ways of you increasing your income would be asking for a raise, finding a side hustle, developing a passive income stream like investing, and some ways of decreasing your expenses would be lowering your amount of wants, and you can also decrease your amount of fixed and variable expenses. For example, you could rent at a cheaper place, use less transport, shop smart, and being more efficient with your utilities at home. Okay, the final strategy I have for you guys is to be disciplined. Learn to say no. If you don't have enough money to purchase something, especially if it's not urgent, just say no, at least until you get into a better financial position. Therefore, do not pay for things that you cannot afford. Instead, save up and then buy it when you are able to. Learn to be patient. If you wait a while before purchasing something, you may even change your mind and decide that you don't actually want it anymore. Stopping and thinking about it first will actually help you to determine how valuable it is to you. And one last thing, just because you have money to purchase something doesn't mean you need to. Learn to say no to consumerism and learn to say no to yourself sometimes. You need to step up and be your own boss. Just because you want it doesn't mean it's necessary to have. So those were my 3 strategies on how you can stick to a monthly budget and save money. Now, like everything, this is a journey, so be patient and keep working on developing healthier spending habits. Now, let me know in the comment section what is one of your spending weaknesses and how you're going to work on combating it. And remember guys, to love others and yourself. Have an amazing day and I'll see you